Hey, we're here. We have some news that just dropped today that Jamie Foxx is returning to play Electro in the Spider-Man 3, the new Spider-Man in the MCU. You may have been like, wait, I thought he played Electro before. He did in the Amazing Spider-Man 2, the film that crashed that Spider-Man franchise and caused them to reboot for the second time.
Or
Now,
yeah, second time. Excuse me.
now, yeah. Nick, you want to go into what your initial thoughts are about this casting?
How best to put this? I'll be upfront and honestly say I'm like I'm like indifferent in a way. I'm not saying that I don't care about it because this if this is like maintains like that same version of Electro that opens up insane amount of possibilities. So I wouldn't say I necessarily don't care. I will say that I won't say I'm excited either. And the reason I say this is because um I've been anticipating Marvel doing going the multiverse route for a while now. I mean, just the fact that Doctor Strange 2 is called Multiverse of Madness and like stuff like what we were saying about WandaVision and uh just like other castings. I anticipate them going into this route for a while now. The reason I'm not as enthused as some people are is because we're filming this in October. Basically, a year ago, DC did it first with their CW crossover, Crisis on Infinite Earths. It was there that they linked all their previous shows, stretching back to the '60s, into one cohesive multiverse, and had things like if you watch those shows, I won't spoil the specifics, but like they have different shows like interacting with each other. You have the confirmation that this year, like that Michael Keaton is coming back as Batman in Ezra Miller's Flash movie, and like I don't know. For me, I feel like DC jumped on that like train of thought first, and at least presented it first. And as a result, um, I'm more down with that than anything. Like they lost Spider Man for a few weeks there last year, so in a way, I'm like, there's no way Electro was in their plans. At least I don't think it was.
Hmm.
Like I feel like Electro must have been like I mean, maybe it was. Who knows? But I feel like it was not a priority because again, they lost Spider Man. So I feel like there's so much like going on like behind the scenes, and so like for this to appear, especially after Michael Keaton's, I was kind of like, looks a bit strange, Marvel. But again, you announced Doctor Strange 2 like a while ago, so I'll grant you that. But like again, DC did it with Crisis on Infinite Earths, and quite frankly, I feel like with the history of how of the shows that have preceded DC, all the way leading up to Ezra Miller's Flash movie, there'll just be more to pull from, and there'll just be I think that like I've been more excited about that, and so to hear like, oh yeah, Marvel's doing a multiverse too apparently, it's kind of like, oh, that's nice.
Yeah.
Someone else is doing it already, but that's cool. You guys are hopping on that as well. So also, I wasn't the biggest fan of Jamie Foxx as Electro. I think he's an
Mhm.
incredible actor. I think he's underrated, and but I just don't think he was. Maybe it was the writing, but I would have rather preferred they brought back Harry Osborn from that movie. What was his name? Dane DeHaan was the actor or something like that.
Oh, I
You
don't
know
remember
that
that,
version
but
of Harry
yeah.
Osborn? I would have preferred they brought him back,
Yeah.
especially since Electro already had a movie. So I'm like,
Mhm.
maybe they want to do their own Harry Osborn to play off against Tom Holland. Was like the combination of the fact that DC did the multiverse first and the fact that I'm not the biggest fan of Electro has kind of like nullified the hype for me. But I mean,
Mhm.
I'd be lying if I didn't say I was not intrigued by what's been happening.
I'm I'm really intrigued by this, and I think whenever you get a great actor for a movie, that's a plus. Two, I have faith in Kevin Feige that he has a plan for what he's doing, and Marvel's shown a commitment to having at least like a minimum quality for their movies, with very few exceptions. Uh, so I have faith that they have a plan for what Electro's role in the film is. Jamie Foxx himself said that Electro is not going to be blue in this one, so they're obviously going for a different take. The other thing is
Glad he's not going
the
to be blue.
yeah. I'm perfectly okay with that. When you have Jamie Foxx as an actor, it's kind of goes against the point to make him blue, especially the CG wasn't great. I mean, it wasn't bad, but it wasn't great in The Amazing Spider-Man 2. But it wasn't fantastic. Third thing is the director for Spider-Man. I'm blanking on his name right now. John Watts. So I think he's a great director, and I think both the films that he's made have been great. And I have faith that when you have a great director with a great producer with great actors, that it'll work out. And I think I just have so much faith in the Marvel Cinematic Universe from the past films that they've made, especially the Spider-Man films, that they make grounded characters. Mysterio is a very, like, he's theatrical and like the way he performs throughout the film, but his motivation is very grounded and believable. And Michael Keaton as Vulture, correct?
Yeah, correct.
Is extremely believable. He's one of the strongest villains in the Marvel universe, just based on creating a backstory and making a character both empathetic, but he's a villain at the same time. I really love that vibe for creating villains, and I think they can do the same thing with Electro. If you've seen or played the new Spider-Man video game, I think they have a fun take on Electro. I think you can go a little bit more like that. And I think this is all building to something. I feel like as Spider-Man characters are going, I hope he has a long run in the the MCU, because I really want to see Spider-Man go beyond 3 films, 4, 5, 6, eventually work your way to like a Sinister Six versus Spider-Man film. Right. I mean, that would have me so excited, and it seems like they're slowly starting to get the gang together. And I wouldn't be surprised if this either was a Sinister Six film, and Electro is only one of the villains in it. Maybe you get a Kraven the Hunter. I know there's J.C. Chandler is supposedly working on a Kraven the Hunter movie, so maybe that's going to be connected between Sony and Marvel. If you've seen the Morbius trailer, Spider-Man is in the background of that, and then Michael Keaton
shows up, right,
who seems like he's playing the same character, Vulture, is in Morbius. So you're like, are these two universes connected? Are they actually the same thing, and they just haven't been telling us the whole time? It's really fascinating, the possibilities that Marvel is opening up right now, in my opinion, and I'm excited to see what's going to happen.
I just think it's going to be just really interesting. Like, it appears both in the matter of 3 years, the next 3 years, 3 years counting this year, we're going to be seeing both of them take on the multiverse. And I think that's going to be like, it's going to be such a shift in what could be possible. And, Doctor Strange in the Multiverse of Madness, you have WandaVision, Wanda Scarlet Witch is going to show up in Doctor Strange 2, and then you have WandaVision where she's probably going to, where we said in our trailer breakdown, she may be messing around with reality. You have the Flash messing around with time travel and like multiverse stuff, and you have Michael Keaton's coming back as Batman, Ben Affleck is coming as Batman, Robert Pattinson is Batman, and then we have maybe two different versions of J. Jonah Jameson with Spider-Man, or maybe they are the same version. And it's like, I think the people who stayed loyal to these franchises for so long, or have seen most of what they've done, they're in for such an epic reward. Because that's how I felt after Crisis on Infinite Earths, because I had seen all the shows and movies they were showing, and so to find out that they were all connected. I don't know. The next 2 years, Doctor Strange 2 is next year. Flash is 2022. This is gonna be an insane shift in what these two franchises do.
Yeah. Benedict Cumberbatch actually recently said that Doctor Strange 2 is shooting within the next month or so.
And so we're getting stuff there. Hope they stay safe.
Yeah, definitely. Anyways, that wraps up our thoughts on the news of Jamie Foxx being cast as Electro for the second time, this time in the MCU. But anyways, let us know what you think. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and we'll see you next time.